Cheers, everyone. Welcome back to Cask 529. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Shona.
And I know we're coming at you with really short notice tonight. We apologize for that. We ran up to High Bank Distillery this evening for dinner. And I told Shona, well, maybe we can get home in time to film a show. And on the way home, Rex is
Rex is
wanting to make all kind of noise.
He's mad
tonight.
he hasn't got attention tonight, so he is in the background trying to get everything he can get.
So on the way home, she said, I think we can get home and do a live. And I'm like, well, I doubt if anybody's going to watch it, but we'll give it a shot. So why did we go to High Bank Distillery tonight? Well, two different verdicts, two different stories on how this happened. I was in a bourbon line this morning looking at my phone, and I saw where High Bank Distillery was going to be on diners, drive-ins, and dives tonight. And if anybody's watched that show, we used to watch it. It's pretty cool. And I thought it was cool that they were going to be on there tonight. And there was a small article about it, so I screenshotted it and sent it to Shona, just letting her know they were going to be on the show. I get a message back, give us reservations for dinner there tonight. We were going to go tomorrow anyway, because our monthly whiskey club tasting night here is going to be High Bank, and we needed to go get the bottles for that. Yeah. So we were going to go tomorrow. We ended up going tonight for dinner.
I need to cut in here. On that clip, that text clip that he sent me, the little image, it said happy hour extended till 6 to 9. Okay, that's what really caught my attention.
And Shona did partake in that. But hey, listen, before I go too much further, I'm showing that we got about 8 or 9 people in the chat. I'm only seeing Kevin, but cheers to everybody
Kevin,
that's
and
with
everybody
us.
Else, yeah.
I know Kevin's anxiously waiting to see what the lineup is, but are we ready, or did you want to talk about some other stuff first?
I want to talk about my Whiskey Society box that I got up
I'm getting a drink while she's doing that.
High Bank tonight. Cheers, Mr. Richie J.
Cheers,
All right,
Mr. Richie J.
So, I have been eyeballing High Bank Distillery's Whiskey Society Club for quite some time because it seems like a pretty good benefit, and if you join the club, you also get releases and invitations to be able to get like their special releases. Like you have to fight other Whiskey Society members, and you have to go on time and get there. But like when they release their cigar blends, or when they release special like the master releases and stuff like that, you get notified of that, and then you get a special night that you can actually go and get those, where you're not having to hunt them and stuff like that. So that's another reason that I've been wanting it, because with working and stuff like that, we don't always get to go and get that kind of stuff. And so,
can I interrupt for 1 second?
Absolutely.
I just want to welcome Wilmington Piper, John Shank, Mrs. Lori J., Bourbon Hunter Lee. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We know it's short notice.
Yeah.
Shona just couldn't wait to
This
talk
is fun.
about what we got going on.
Yeah. So
Did you want a drink?
I did. However, I was going to let you open this one.
Oh, okay.
Well, but you already opened that one, so I guess I'll open this one, and Bryan will just have to taste it some other time. Cheers, Rick.
After this glass.
All right, so
Cheers, Rick.
the Bourbon Whiskey Society at High Bank Whiskey War. It includes, your membership includes a double oaked barrel pick for the Whiskey Society. So it is a barrel pick. As you know, this one has came in first for me on the last 2 double oak challenges that Bryan has set me up with. So, but this is actually a barrel pick, so it might taste different than the one that we have. In addition, I haven't even looked at it, but I got a Whiskey Society shirt. And I'm getting to the most exciting part, guys. Bear with me.
She's getting there.
I'm getting there. And I got a Whiskey Rocks glass.
Cheers to Joe B. and Russell. Thanks for joining us, guys, on short notice.
So the most exciting thing is, one, I have 12 tickets that I can use once a month to get either a free cocktail or a whiskey flight when we go to High Bank for lunch or dinner or whatever. But what's really exciting, guys, is we have a ticket to enjoy one free distillery tour and tasting for up to 10 people. This is where it's exciting, and I wanted to share it with anybody that may want to come do kind of like a meet and greet with Bryan and I at High Bank Distillery in Columbus. Now, I cannot provide you dates at this time because I do have to email High Bank to set up tours. Maybe I can get dates, times, but it's for up to 10 people. So obviously Bryan and I would be there. So we would have room to take 8 additional people. So I'm just going to put that out there. If anybody would be interested in doing a meet and greet, if there's a lot of people, we may have to, draw names, but I'll have to get some dates and times that this might be available and get that out there. But I really just wanted to share it with our community. I thought it would be great. We're willing to meet and greet with anybody. I'll also put it out there on the patron page.
Anytime.
Yes.
But we thought this would be something cool at one of our favorite distilleries if we could set that up.
Yeah.
And maybe there won't be any interest, but
if there is,
yeah,
we'd be happy to meet up with anybody that would want to meet us at High Bank and enjoy that free tour and tasting with us.
Kevin's interested.
Oh, awesome. Great, Kevin. And so I will also put that out there on the patron. So if you're not a paid patron, at least join us free, because when I put that kind of communications out there, you'll see that on there. So that would be great. But
Joan Z, you know what? You don't even need a sponsor to get into the club. All you need is a credit card.
Honestly, I didn't feel it was horrible. It was $219, and you get a bottle of their double oaked, you get a t-shirt, you get a glass, you get 12 either cocktails or 12 flights, which are $16 to $25 each month. And then you get that tour package with that everybody on the tour gets a flight as well to taste. I mean,
The bottle's what, a $50 or $60 bottle?
yeah, I think it's like 60, 65. But regardless, I mean, it's going to, if you partake in the tastings and the tour, it way pays for itself.
Mrs. Lori J, I know that's going to be an issue, is distance. But, we want to let everybody that's a patron know that it's available, so.
Yep. So I'm going to put this down.
It'd be great if we were all close enough and we could get together whenever we wanted.
And Bryan kept saying I wasn't going to open this bottle, so I wanted to.
Okay, open it.
Sorry, guys. I was kind of doing that for Kevin. I drove him nuts one night doing that.
Yeah, he kept staring like I was just doing. Like, are you gonna?
All right, all 3 bourbon and balls are interested. Great. Perfect. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and email and find out if I can get like a few dates and times, and I'll put that out there on the patron page, and we can all communicate. Like I said, paid or free patrons, it doesn't matter. It'll just be out there so we can communicate that way.
Charlie, thanks for joining us tonight. We just a quick
Impromptu.
Shona said, "Hey, let's do a live." I said, "Bourbon and ball style. We'll just throw something together."
So anyways, this is what I'm drinking tonight. It's the Whiskey Society pick. Bryan's drinking the regular one at the moment. It's almost
a dead soldier.
A dead soldier.
I
yeah.
didn't want to open a new one when we still had.
I'm excited. I'm like a little kid at Christmas, so I always want to open
You should have
stuff.
seen her holding that
I was so
society
excited.
box on the way home from Columbus. She was like,
Look, I was more excited to come and offer up the eight other seats for some
She was
some
excited
others.
about
I was
that. She really
because
was.
I would love to meet and connect with everyone. You guys
"Cheers,
have been
Gandhi. Thanks for joining us tonight, sir."
so supportive, and so if this is something that we can offer and we can all meet and do a tour and tasting together, I think it'd be fun.
And Wilmington, thanks for putting that link there in the chat for us.
Yes, thank you.
Like Shauna said, guys, I wasn't sure. Wasn't aware she was opening it up to all patrons, but she just said free or paid. So it's going to be. And naturally, if we have more interest than we have tickets, we'll do a drawing.
Yeah, we'll have to do a drawing.
We'll do a drawing. So we'll put everybody that's interested on a wheel.
Yeah.
And we'll get our entries that way.
Yes. So I'm going to plan on emailing them tomorrow. I do not know how long it will take to get a response back, and I'm hoping they can provide me at least 3 different weekend dates. And as soon as I have that information, I will get it out there on the patron page. And if we can get 8 people to go and meet us up there at High Bank, that would be great. We'd love it.
We would. We I don't know. We've probably been up there 4 or 5 times now. It's just the setting's so cool, and it's relaxing, and the staff's friendly. They're super nice. I don't think we've ever come in contact with anybody. We took some friends up there for lunch one time, and I don't remember what it was. Some syrup or something for waffles.
Oh, she wanted some jam for her.
Some jam for her toast, maybe.
Yeah.
And it wasn't available, but
she came
within
up with
a few
something.
minutes, there was some jam there somehow. So,
Yeah, it was great. Cheers, William Hall. I think you're in.
yes.
Just hopping
Cheers,
in there.
William Hall. Thank you for joining us. Cheers, Becky Watson. Thanks
Yes,
for joining us.
cheers. So, obviously, while we were up there last Wednesday, a couple nights ago, we talked about what we wanted to do for the bourbon giveaway for November's trivia nights. Now, I still do not know what we will be doing merchandise-wise, what we will be giving away with it. However, the bottle of whiskey that will be going with trivia night is Brian's
There's
gonna.
2. Okay.
Okay.
It's my favorite, the Double Oaked from Whiskey War, High Bank Distillery. So,
Cheers, Jill.
cheers, Jill. Thanks for joining us.
So this will be November's trivia night, grand prize,
Grand prize.
plus some.
Along with some merchandise of some kind that remains to be named.
Yeah. I don't know yet what that's going to be, but as soon as I know, we will announce it.
It'll be fabulous.
Yes, but that's what's going to be the giveaway in November.
And remember, guys, we're earning points from now till the end of the year for not only the segment prizes every whiskey trivia night, and not only for the grand prize at the end of the month, but also for the trophy.
Yes. Yeah.
Highest
the
point
trophy.
total since we started this, 2 months ago? Highest point total will get the trivia or the trivia trophy
Yes.
at the end of the year. So
And we know everybody wants that trophy.
absolutely, thing's gorgeous.
Oh, shoot. So somebody must have asked what everybody was drinking. So we got Wilmington Piper drinking some Old Forester 1920. Cheers, Bourbon Kitty.
Mr. Richie J just popped the top
Ezra.
on a Green River store pick.
Yep. And Ezra Brooks is Russ's. James E. Pepper is Bourbon Hunter Lee. And
Joe
kind
B's
of
drinking
popping up
water.
on me.
Joe, what's up with that?
He must be.
I can't say nothing. I had to drink water a week ago or so.
Yeah.
Cheers to Tam Adams. Thanks
Yes.
for joining us tonight. John Shank wants that trophy.
That's right. Thanks, John.
You said, Bourbon Kitty. Cheers. Thanks for joining us tonight,
Yes.
Bourbon Kitty.
All right, we're going to go over what we're going to have and I know a lot of you obviously cannot attend this, but just fun to go over what we're going to have at our whiskey tasting. But
For those that aren't aware, once a month, the last Wednesday of every month, we do a whiskey club tasting night. And if you are friends with either myself on Facebook or on our Cask 529 Facebook page, you've seen this posted. So this month we are doing the High Bank lineup. I think one time we only had 3 bottles, and I don't remember what the reason for that was, but I think there was only 3 bottles one time. And one time we had 5 bottles. But most generally it's 4 bottles.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got 4 bottles that Shona is going to unveil
Oh, I can unveil them.
for tonight or for this month.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, before I do the unveiling of those bottles, as you guys know, is impromptu, so I hurried up and tried to find something for a giveaway because we always love to do something for a giveaway for everybody. So it is just going to be this set of whiskey glasses and the ice cube make the spears. So I'm going to go ahead and start that so everybody can start entering it, and it is going to be !whiskey, and that's whiskey spelled with the EY. It's in the chat. So if you guys want to start entering for that, you're welcome to.
Hey, John Shank, congratulations on that 70th anniversary bottle. I just was
wow.
hearing some people today talking how they would love to get their hands on that and get Jimmy to sign it because they had a 60th anniversary bottle that they had him sign. So that's a good pickup. Now, is my understanding on that, it's pretty much just a bottle 101, but they're calling it a 70th anniversary, or is there something more special about that bottle? Oh, Rick Moreland's drinking some hazmat tonight.
Oh, Rick, you're killing me.
Some of his OB1. I think that's the one we had on his
On
flight.
one of his blinds. I will tell you, Rick, that was delicious once I put a few drops of water in it. It truly was. However, until I added the water, it was really killing me.
She was struggling, Rick.
Okay, so it is a 101 8-year.
Bloody 81, cheers. Thanks for joining us. Chilwell Rocco, thanks for joining us. I hadn't seen you in there, but you obviously knew to hit whiskey.
So, did you hear me with John? It's a 101 8-year.
101 8-year, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little
I
bit
didn't-
special.
Do they don't have age statements on all those, do they? I didn't think they did.
I think we have just a little bit left in a bottle
I
up
think
there.
there's enough in there to look at the bottle, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's the rye.
Yeah, I've got that. Green. By now he's probably already answered.
Yeah, John will tell you it's not age dated.
Yeah, I don't see an age.
No.
I didn't think it had an age, but that's cool if they've
Yeah.
got an age date 8-year on there.
Yeah.
My guess is normal 101 is nowhere near 8 years.
Right. So while we were up at High Bank this evening, enjoying some delicious food, and I was lucky enough to have some delicious pours. I did a tasting flight. Poor Bryan, he had the drive. It's a little, just like a couple minutes over an hour, like maybe 62 minutes
Yeah, something like
to
that.
get there. But anyways, it's still a long drive, so he was being good. We went ahead and picked up this month's whiskey flight that we will be doing for the Whiskey Club the last Wednesday of this month. And we have the double oak
Again, a double.
again.
There's other stuff there we really like, guys. They're really
We have the Whiskey War. It's just the blend of straight whiskeys. It's the 88 proof. So that's their lowest proof that they have.
And then that same thing in a cask strength. There's right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, it's this one. Okay, just want to make sure. So the barrel proof of the same thing is 116.1 proof.
Cheers, Dave Vogelsang. Thanks for joining us tonight, sir.
And then we picked up the Midnight Cask barrel proof, and it is actually finished in port wine barrels, and it is 104.4 proof. This one, we had this bottle previously, and I may have gotten 1 or 2, maybe 3 pours.
I think what happened
And
is
it
when
quickly
you,
evaporated.
I think when you poured, it would evaporate coming out of the bottle.
Yeah, it just kept.
Damnedest thing, I never really saw anything like it.
Yeah, so I don't really know if this one's Bryan's favorite or if the Double Oak's Bryan's favorite.
I'd say this was probably my favorite because it went away first. And then when that was gone, I went to the Double Oak, which I liked the Double Oak, but this was probably my number one. And actually, Shauna's not telling you this, but when she did her flight tonight, this was on the flight.
It was.
And she was loving it. Every bit of it.
Yeah, because I really forgot what it even tasted like when you get like one sip out of the whole bottle. So, good news is these will stay sealed until the end of the month when we have our whiskey club night. Then, if there is anything left, Brian will get the remainder of the bottle.
Cheers, Troy. Thanks for joining us tonight, sir.
But
I don't know really. I get all this. I get all the flack on this show. Not just on the show, but all the time. If we're with friends or whatever, somebody will say, "Do you have?" And I'll get, "Oh yeah, Brian drank that." But guys, how many times
he did, guys.
have I said on this show, "I'm not the drinker in the house. Shona is," and Shona will say, "He's right. He's not the drinker." So now, who's really drinking this stuff? That's what I want to know.
I drink a variety of things. Brian gets hooked on a certain thing and then kills the bottle so there's nothing left.
Well, then if we were to replace it, it'd be cheaper that way because I don't want to be replacing a bottle at a time instead of the 20-some that we have down there now that need replaced.
I have to tell you, this Society barrel pick, I think it's probably better than the regular one. It's really good.
Okay, another thing that I want to bring up again, I want to keep bringing this up so she doesn't forget. Anybody that was on trivia the other night knows this weekend, Shauna is going to get us set up
Oh yeah.
to
So
bring people on live with us. People, multiple.
Yeah, he keeps reminding me. However, would it really hurt Brian to learn some techie stuff and figure it out how to do it himself? Just asking.
Probably wouldn't, but you're my IT person, so.
I'm not very good at it though.
I don't know. You put stuff on the screen and people comment, "Hey, you guys are pretty good with that stuff." So now, who's really not that good with it? This guy. This guy. I know how to hook the camera up and put the mics on.
I'm anxious for you to taste. You want another glass so you can taste this
Yeah.
one compared to that one?
Before you drink the bottle. Here.
For those who have just joined us, we were talking earlier that the reason this is impromptu and stuff, we went to High Bank Distillery up in Columbus, Ohio this evening for dinner, and I joined their Whiskey Society Club, which this bottle is part of that. And also we received a ticket where we can take, it's a ticket for 10 people to go on a tour and have a tasting at High Bank. And so Brian and I are offering up the 8 additional seats to patrons, free or paid patrons. I have to email them and get some dates, but if there are 8 people, if there's more than 8 people that can join, I'll spin the wheel, pick the people that we can take. But we just wanted to have this impromptu thing just to discuss that and let everybody know that we would be happy if you could join us. I think it'd be a lot of fun to do that meet and greet with everybody. And also, if you have just joined, we also have a giveaway going for those whiskey glasses up in the corner of your screen. You can see with the ice cube molds. And it is !whiskey spelled with the EY to enter that.
In response to John worrying about whether or not he'll be invited onto the screen with us, John, I hope that you want to come on there with us.
John is our first guinea pig the very first time, and
really
it froze up.
the only person we've ever had on. We have made some Wi-Fi modifications since then, and we've changed a good bit of stuff since then. So, but John, absolutely, I would hope that you would want to come on. I think the program we use, we're going to be allowed to have up to 11 people join us. Probably initially, until we get comfortable with having people, we'll probably just do like 5 or 6 maybe. But if it's going well, then we'll add people quickly to that. But
right, yeah. So we are using Streamlabs is what we use. And so if anybody has experience with that, and if we run into trouble this weekend, if you would be willing, to allow us to email you or text you or whatever, just let us know.
Yeah.
Hopefully we will not have much trouble, but
And I know we're the minority. I think most everybody uses StreamYard.
Yep.
And we started in with Streamlab, and Shona really has the thing working pretty well for us. So to switch at this point would be silly because she'd be learning a new platform.
Yeah. Rick added a bit of water to that OB1, and it is still good. I'm telling you, Rick, it was really good after I added the water. It was just really too hot for me at first, but it was really good. The flavor of it was delicious. So I did truly enjoy it after I added some water. So I'm glad that you're finding it still good after you add that water.
So on the meet and greet that Shona was telling everybody about at High Bank that we are willing to try to do to anyone that's interested, she stopped before she got to the point of any patron, whether you're a free patron or a paid patron. If you're a patron of our channel, you'll be eligible for that. So if we have less than 8 people that want to do it, then it's a piece of cake because we've got 8 tickets. If we have more than 8, we will do names on a wheel of everybody that's interested, and we'll pick 8 people that way. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, it ought to be a good time. It would be great to meet up with some of you guys that we haven't met. Some of you guys we have met. A few, not a lot, but obviously Bourbon and Balls, we've met those folks, and Gandhi we've met. Some of the local people that come to our whiskey night.
Of course, we've met them. I feel like we've met Rick and
Yeah, I feel like we know Rick and Mr.
Richie
Ritchie
J and Lori J because
and,
we've FaceTime. Well,
Mary.
we've used Rick's StreamYard and met them kind of.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're
We've not met them in person, but
hours away, so 10-hour drive, Rick said. Yeah.
yeah.
So, but like Gandhi, we're not out of the realm for him if he wants. I know he goes to High Bank.
And we
so,
did meet Gandhi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think of the two different?
You know what? It's everybody says that a pick is better than a regular bottle.
I think it really depends on who's picking it in their palate.
It does, yeah. I think so too, because I'm sure there's stores out there that can pick a bottle and it's be awful. But as much as I like the regular double oak that you can walk into the store and buy off the shelf, this pick bottle is like creamier. Right off the bat, I noticed that. Let me get another sip of it.
I think it's sweeter. Definitely has more of an oak presence than that one.
It does have more oak to it. It still has that smooth oak though, like the regular one, but it's a stronger oak flavor.
And still picking up those dark fruits and everything on the end.
Yeah, I think
that
the,
I love.
the creamy is the big thing that really.
Yeah.
I mean, it coats your whole palate.
I mean, honestly, I would say it's probably only like a few points better if you're scoring it out of 100. A few points better than the one that you go pick up at the store.
Yeah, I wouldn't put
it's-
it head and shoulders above it, but it
Right.
is notably better.
Yeah, I would say it's. I mean, that's a neck pour, and I just feel like it's automatically a nice,
Yeah,
smooth drinking.
very good, very
Yeah.
good. I've never saw any of these products as a pick, so I'm guessing that's only a pick because it was in the Whiskey Society box.
That would be my guess. Yeah, I believe last year, you guys have all seen, and I should have joined last year when we first started going up there, honestly, because I've been wanting to. But I think last year in the box, you were actually getting one of the white labeled different, I don't know which one it was, but it was one of their master barrel picks, and it was a white labeled. And of course, it had the guns and stuff on it. But they've converted over to the double oak which I think is their most popular and it's the highest selling for them. Now we did find out tonight, that January,
Well, let's start with December.
December.
December, they are going to be releasing their cigar blend again, which was near impossible to find a few months ago when they released it. We actually were lucky enough to get a bottle of it. We found it up in Lake Erie. But they're going to release the next run of cigar blend in December. Didn't say when, whether it would be earlier, closer to Christmas or what. But in January, for anybody that has followed High Bank, they are a blend. They use MGP and blend. But in January, they're releasing their very first, very own bourbon that's all theirs.
Yep.
So that's going to be pretty exciting, and I know people are going to be dying to get their hands on that one.
Yeah. Cheers, Mr. Mom.
Yes,
So,
cheers, Mr. Mom. Thanks for joining us.
Brian and I had an interesting conversation in the car on the way home. So he brought it up, and I didn't even think about it because, you know, when the waiter was telling us about the bourbon in January, we instantly were both excited, and I didn't think any more of it. However, on the way home, Brian brings up, you know, we know that they source MGP right now, and all of their products are good. We have yet to have one bad pour or one bad bottle from High Bank. And he's like, what if they release their bourbon and then we don't like it? So
yeah, and actually what started that conversation was Shona was talking about how excited we should be for December and January. And I said, I'm actually more excited for the cigar blend in December, and not so much because I absolutely love it. It is a really good pour. But that's when I said, well, we know what it is. The January release is an unknown. Nobody knows what that's going to be. So
I guess my question out there to everyone watching is, I know that there's been multiple distilleries who have started out with an MGP product, or even another source like Bardstown or something like that, where you can source.
And we're fairly new to this. So of those, what have you guys seen? What kind of experience have you seen?
Yeah. Have you seen where, you know, you've really liked their product, then they started making their own, producing their own, and then all of a sudden it's not as good? Or have you seen where they used MGP and then they, you know, were established long enough that they started producing their own and it was better? I mean, what have you guys seen? I remember New Riff's story where when they opened, they started with MGP products, but they called it, I think it was OK1, and I should know that because it was a trivia question. Because they didn't want to release their name on MGP product, and so it was different. It wasn't confusing. Well, I'm confident that High Bank is probably going to release their bourbon in their same name. They may call it something different. Maybe it won't be like the Whiskey War, or maybe it'll be something else.
So, Gandhi, are you saying that New Riff is not as good now as it was?
Yeah, because New Riff is a perfect example of someone who did this.
Yeah.
New Riff products, I truly like them.
Yeah, we do.
I never had New Riff because it wasn't named New Riff. They released it under that OK or OK1, I can't remember. But
Okay, I think.
I've never had it, so I don't know which was better.
And I'm going to jump into a separate conversation here real quick. Mr. Ritchie's having some Green River, and they're having a conversation, a few of them, about that Green River. I just want to say, guys, we love the entire New River line that we've had. I guess we have
Green River, not the New River.
Green River, yeah. I'm
New
getting
Riff.
screwed up.
Green
River. The only one we haven't, or I shouldn't say the only one. The one that we haven't had is the single barrel. It just wasn't available in our area. But we've heard nothing but good about it as well. Yeah. And the rye I have I know I've done it. I've obliterated that bottle.
Thanks for owning that.
Yeah, I'll own it.
Thank you. So Gandhi said he loves New Riff. So
Okay.
that, that's reassuring. I also love New Riff. I'm a big New Riff fan. And so it's very reassuring. And so I think we just have to wait till January and see.
Dave says that's Gandhi riff. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. If we don't get our hands on that one, we know it's coming. Where I'm sure they're going to switch everything over. I would think that's only the natural thing to happen.
Sure it will. I'm sure that they have plenty of still MGP products that are aging in the barrels because they do a lot of finished items. And so it'll probably take several years, I would say, before that's completely converted over to their own products.
Mr. Ritchie, how did that work out for old Dominic? Positive? Troy, everything's good, man. We just did a little impromptu live. We had some exciting news we wanted to share, so...
Yeah. I can go over
Go
again
ahead.
real
Tell
quick.
Troy what's going on.
Sorry, guys.
He's in the dark. He's worried. Something's wrong.
Nothing's wrong. So Bryan and I had a date night. We went up to High Bank Distillery in Columbus, Ohio, one of our favorite Ohio distilleries, and I finally pulled the plug and joined their whiskey society. As part of their whiskey society, we were able to obtain a ticket that allows us to have 10 people total on a tour, plus it includes all the whiskey tasting for those 10 people. So of course Bryan and I will be going. We wanted to open it up to 8 other people who may want to come and join us for that. I will be emailing to see if I can get them to give me a few dates, weekends, that we could do this so that I can put it out on the patron page. It would be for free or paid patrons. I'm just going to do it all through the patron page though. So if anybody wants to, meet up, just go join as a free member or a paid member, whichever one you want. And that's what we wanted to discuss tonight. And plus we wanted to kind of go over this bottle of the Double Oak. Came with part of that package.
And the month of November trivia prize is a bottle of Double Oak from Whiskey War.
Yes.
And then we have a whiskey club tasting night once a month, and the High Bank lineup is going to be featured this month for that event. So, Gandhi, I see that you asked. We do know that it's just going to be a straight bourbon, but I didn't get an age statement from the boy that was telling us about it, so I can't fully answer that question.
No. But if we find out more information, Gandhi, and I'm sure that you would find out, but because you're also here close. Gandhi, are you in Ohio or in Kentucky? I think you're in Kentucky, but right on the line. Maybe you're in Ohio, I'm not sure.
No, I think he's actually in Kentucky.
In Kentucky, but regardless, I'll keep everybody posted because we are kind of excited about it, a little bit nervous, but kind of excited. So I'm hoping, I don't think they're going to disappoint. I really don't. I don't think he would put out a bad product.
I feel like they have got such a presence and such a following that they're going to make sure it's going to be good before they release it.
Yeah, I think so.
At least I'm hoping. Because they just opened a new facility as well, so I think that's their 3rd place now.
Chill Will Rocco, thank you so much. There's 8 people that haven't hit that like button. Go smash it. So thank you.
Thanks, Chill Will.
And Troy, if you've not got entered, because I know that you joined a little bit late, we are giving away that whiskey glass set and stuff. If you want to enter, it's ! Whiskey spelled with the EY. If you want to join.
Gandhi, that's not a bottle. That's not the sample in that sample pack you won for our 1,000 subscriber, is it? That's a full bottle you're sipping on, I'm guessing. Did we give a bottle away for that of Midnight Cask?
It was in a sample.
Right, but we didn't give a full bottle away.
No. So, Russ, Richie J just got a bottle of the Hauling Station small batch for $30, and it's really good. And Hauling Station is Old Dominic. Okay.
I'm not sure, Rick, exactly what you said there. Okay, it's the one. It's the sample bottle we sent him.
Okay.
Man, Gandy, I love that bottle. I really do.
I don't think Gandy liked it at first because it is the port.
No, and he
wine.
said it's
Yeah.
grown on him more every time he goes back to it.
Mm-hmm. And it does. Like I said, I didn't have much of it when we first initially had the bottle. But tonight when I was tasting it there, I'm like, oh, this might actually beat the double oak.
Look at the color of it.
I know. But I don't know, the double oak, you really can't beat it. The double oak is only released a handful of times throughout the year, and so it's a little bit harder to get. But I really like the double oak as well. But it's nice that their double oak you can get pretty much whenever.
We do still have some double.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We do.
That one's pretty much Shauna's baby.
Yeah.
And if she gives it to anybody, because
Bryan doesn't like the super oakiness of it.
It's too oaky for my palate. It reminds me of some of the wine that Shauna drinks. It's just so dry that Shauna likes that.
So Stephen is saying, I'm still debating whether Old Dominic Cask Strength is my jam. It's very high rye mash bill. You know what, Stephen? I've really come to love ryes.
Yeah, no, and to be fair, I mean, we haven't had that.
No,
but,
I've not.
When we started, Stephen, and I know your channel's not that old. I don't know how long you've been into this, but when we started getting into bourbon, the first rye we tried, and I don't even remember for sure. It might have been Elijah Craig, possibly.
It may have been, yeah.
But wow, I mean, we choked it down just because everybody said, "Oh, you need to try this rye. You'll like it."
Bourbon Hunter Lee, thank you so much. I appreciate
you,
that. You
Bourbon
did not
Hunter
need
Lee.
to do that.
Wow, you
Thank
didn't
you.
have to do that. We appreciate it.
But it took me a while to even step up to the plate with ryes because the group that we hang with a lot, they were all like, we don't like ryes. They're too hot. And so at that time, you know, I was still good with like the 80 to 90 proof range. And so when everybody was telling me, oh, they're hot, I was getting really nervous to even go to ryes. But
Troy is curious what your two top ryes are.
oh, my two top ryes. Oh, that's good. Give me a second on that.
Personally,
Okay.
my number one top rye probably I've just recently got hooked on, Troy. I know the question was for Shauna, but Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye is probably my number one favorite rye.
Honestly, that is my favorite rye. But we also have the twice barrel
Yeah.
rye,
And
from
it's
Jack
really
Daniel's.
good, but I don't know. I think I've probably got some others I would put ahead of that.
Which is so between the Jacks, I'm going to count the Jacks as one. The Jack Daniel's the rye is absolutely one of my favorite. And then, honestly, I'm probably going to move over here to either the Rare Breed or the Russell's Reserve. I can't remember which one I like better, but I think it's the Rare Breed I like the best. But I like all of them.
If you like old fashions, and I know you're not going to make every old fashioned out of a bottle this expensive, but we did an old fashioned, or I set Sean up with an old fashioned blind one night, two different bourbons, two different ryes. The rest of everything else was the same. I just used a different product, and thank you, Wilmington Piper.
Yes,
we
thank
really
you.
appreciate that.
That's super sweet of you. Thank you.
Anyway, our favorite for both of us was Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye. And wow, what an old fashioned that made.
Yeah, and I actually asked Bryan, I remember that show, because I was so excited. Like old fashions, used to be one of my favorite cocktails, and now honestly, I just prefer a pour of bourbon. Um,
Right, yeah, and
I
that's
hardly ever drink a cocktail anymore, to be honest. However, old fashions or a Manhattan would be my go-to. But I remember when he lined me up with that, and I even asked him. Now, my winner is going to depend on if I'm just having one that night or if I'm going to have two that night.
yeah, and she said that before she knew what they were. She's like, well, I don't know. I don't want to place them until I need to know how many drinks I'm having because it's serious. That thing is
Very serious, because you get a higher proof than with a sweet cocktail that you can drink a little quicker than a regular pour of bourbon, and it really hits you really fast. And so, I don't know. Rick, AM Scott's Rye, you are right. That is delicious. When we did the live with Bourbon and Balls at the AM Scott Distillery, that rye came in, knowing that you can hardly ever get the cigar blend up there, or only a couple times a year. The cigar blend that they have did place first for me, but ultimately, their shelfers that you can get all the time, their rye came in the highest, and it was delicious.
also to Troy. I saw that you're wanting to expand your rye knowledge a little bit. We did a Michter's lineup at one time for our whiskey club, and we had a Michter's rye, and that thing was really good. I'd show you the bottle, but it's gone. We recently got this bottle from Charles, helped us acquire that down in Florida, and I don't see him on tonight, but Shona, I haven't had that yet,
It's
so I
good.
can't speak to it. But
It is
Shona has. It looks like she's been liking it.
Yeah, no, I do like that one as well. It's really hard because I don't find too many that I don't like. And I know that if you've watched us for a while, that there are a handful that I do not care for, but I've tried not to name their names anymore. But for the most part, I can tend to like any of them anymore. However, Charles, he's what we call our rye guy, because he sends us all kinds of rye samples. And he has sent us some, and he sent us one that we did on What's in the Glen Wednesday this past week that I truly loved. And it's not one that we can really get here, I don't believe. And I'm trying to think what it was called. It was something Glen. And I should remember.
The one we just did.
Yeah, the one that we just did. I'm embarrassed that I cannot
I'm sorry.
remember.
Give me 1 second, guys, and I'll tell you. I'll tell you what that was. Maybe that was Driftless.
Driftless Glen.
Driftless Glen.
So that rye that he sent was really good. Yep.
Okay. One other rye and I'll stop with the ryes, but who was it? Mr. Mom said something about Bullet Rye, which I like Bullet Rye. It's a good rye. It doesn't break the bank, and it's a good pour. I got this earlier this year when they released this 12-year rye from Bullet. Again, doesn't break the bank. That's a great pour. I'll take that over the regular Bullet Rye any day.
Did you know they were releasing a 10-year rye?
I think you and I saw that together, but yeah.
Just in the last couple of weeks, they announced that.
Yep. Now, this 12-year, my understanding was it was going to be very limited, but I've seen it on the shelf all summer.
Have you? I have to admit that Bryan usually goes to the stores. I don't get there as much as I honestly would like to. So I never know what... I do check like the OHLQ page
She does.
to see if I need to send them somewhere.
To see if she needs me to get out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning.
But I don't go into the stores as often as I used to. I love, I hate to shop. I'm going to admit that I truly hate to shop. If you want me to go clothes shopping, I absolutely hate it. However, if you want me to go to the hardware store and pick out things to do a remodel or to build something, I'm all for it. If you want me to go bourbon shopping, as long as it's at not 4 a.m., I'm all for it.
Yeah, she's not, you don't have to worry about Shauna beating you in any Black Friday deals which I don't know if that's even such a big deal anymore
No.
as it was 4 or 5 years ago. But definitely she's not getting up early to go shopping.
No, I get up early 5 days of the week to go to work, and I'm not getting up on the weekends if I don't have to.
And I don't go that often.
Now, when I say
early.
that, Rex still has me up by 6:30 at the latest in the morning. So it's not like I'm sleeping until 9, 10, noon. So don't think that, I'm sleeping my life away. However, I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. on a weekend.
Candy, that website's a good starting point, but like anything, it's got its flaws. There are things that will never show up on there. For example,
Is it Stag that never shows up?
Stag won't show up on there.
The
E.H. Taylor, like the barrel proof. Now, small batch will. It'll show up if it's in stock.
The Russell's 15 wouldn't show up.
No, it wouldn't show up. The 13 wouldn't show up. A lot of your tater bottles, I guess, they won't show up. Even if you search specifically for them, it'll pull them up, but it'll always say unavailable or out of stock.
Yep. It is a good site though, and
Yeah, it's a great. If there's something you're looking for, it's a great place to go look because most things are on there.
and you really just have to learn when the stores that you go to update it.
Right.
And that's the most important thing. Like we've learned, when
Like the
certain
store
one
I
that
go
goes-
to on Friday,
it doesn't.
it's not on there because they receive their inventory on Friday morning, pull it off the truck, scan it in, and pull it up front to the liquor part of the store.
Yep.
So it never hits. I'm sure at some point it does, but not in time for anybody to check it to decide if they're going to go there or not.
Right. And so then the one that he goes to, if he goes, he hardly ever goes on Saturday morning. They get their shipments on Wednesday, but they don't update their stock until like Saturday evening, like at 10 p.m. or even 11 p.m.
The Russell's Rye behind me, Rick. That was one Shona mentioned. She said it was either this one or the Rare Breed Rye that was one of her top two. But yeah, that's a great bottle. I think we'd grabbed that for a rye show we were doing. Didn't know anything about it when we got it, but it's a great bottle. Do you like that, Rick, or are you asking because you haven't had it?
So John, yes, beer and wine are sold by the OHLQ as well. So all spirits and everything like that are on OHLQ.
Is beer on there?
I know wine is for sure.
Yeah,
and then I questioned myself, and then I started.
I'm going to tell
Brian
you
on
about
a
beer in a second. I don't think
But
beer's
I can
on
tell
there,
you
John.
that wine is definitely on there, and vodka, gin, brandy, all those, but maybe not beer. However, beer is regulated by OHLQ. No, you can get those at gas stations and stuff. So, John, no, beer is not, but wine. I think wine is because they list the wine on there.
Yeah, I think wine is. I don't think beer is.
We just never search for those two things. Well, I do search for wine, but I know exactly where to go get the ones
Here's
I
what
like.
here's what you'll find on OHLQ: brandy, cordials, gin, rum, tequila, vodka, and whiskey.
Okay, so wine is not on there. I apologize.
Definitely not beer though. Wilderness Trail
Wilderness
Trail Rye is on clearance
Ooh,
where William Hall's at.
wow.
You know what? We got our first Wilderness Trail
And it's the
a
weeded.
few weeks ago. We got the weeded one, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
They had the rye at that time, but I needed the wheat. I didn't need the rye at that time, so I can't.
We'll have to try that rye sometime.
Yeah, I can't speak to the rye, but if it holds up anywhere near like the wheat did.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you.
Bourbon Hunter Lee, thank you, sir. We
Yes,
appreciate
thank
that.
you. I have to tell, I think it was Troy that was asking about the ryes, and I apologize to keep talking about them. But one of my favorite ryes, honestly, is the Woodford rye. And I know it's only 93 proof. And it's, you know, around the $36 mark here in Ohio, 36 or 38. However, it has a really nice cherry note on it that I truly enjoy. I put it right there with their wheated. They both have a great taste for me, and they're not so warm. If you're just beginning to drink the ryes and you're afraid of not only the baking spice heat, but also the heat from the proof, it's a good option. But I really like it just because it has that cherry note. But to me, a cherry note will win every time.
Rick, the next time we're sending something down to you, we'll make sure you get a taste of that.
What you got?
That Russell's rye.
The Russell's rye, okay.
Yeah.
And then I see Mr. Richie J is having one
more pour. That's how it starts, Mr. Richie.
Just one more.
Just one more pour. I used to ride bikes with a guy, Harleys, and we were at Bike Week in Myrtle Beach. I don't know, it's been a long time ago. Anyway, that was his thing. Here's the deal. One more and we're out of here.
And one more turned
So
into
there was a bar
lot
called
more.
Sundowners right on Highway 17. And they were open, at least during Bike Week, they were open 24/7. And fortunately, the condo was right down the street from the bar because we spent most of the night here. And here's the deal. One more and we're out of here. Shona wasn't with me then, or we'd have left without everybody. She'd have been like, here's the deal, we're out of here.
Here's the deal. I'm walking. All right. I am going to give everybody at least one more minute because we have more viewers and entries. So one more minute. If you want signed up for those classes, I am going to be shipping those directly to the winner from Amazon. Just FYI, I don't think I mentioned that. So ! whiskey in the comments. And whiskey is spelled with the EY. So if anybody wants in that, I'm going to give you one more minute, then I'm going to do that drawing.
And I'm sorry, guys, I forgot we had a drawing going on. We got all long-winded
this
there.
has been, this impromptu has been fun. It's not structured. It's
This is pretty relaxed.
kind of fun. Yeah. So can I have a pour of your double oak
You
over
sure
there?
can.
And so I can,
Here you go.
hey, thanks. I'm not going to drink it right out of the bottle,
Just
though.
finish it off.
No.
I didn't want to make you finish it off, but just there's not much in there.
Well, you finish it. There isn't much. Almost a bottle kill. Here we go.
Look at us go. That's a heavy pour.
Good. It was heavy. Good job.
Good job.
There,
Why
Mr.
not?
Richie J, we had just one more with you.
Just one more. Never mind, it had to be a little bigger than normal.
Yeah,
To make it
just one more
but
to make it an
it's
empty.
It's a heavy pour.
Shoot. All right. Thank you, Bourbon Underleaf, for putting that in there. I am going to go ahead and close out the entries for this and pick our winner. Give me 1 second here.
Thank you guys again also for the super chats.
Steven, you are our winner.
Awesome.
Steven, I actually got a little bit organized last weekend and made myself a list of people I had. And Steven, I do not believe I have your address.
First time winner.
Yeah, first time. So Steven, if you could email me, and Brian's going to put it in the chat. If you could email me at cask529info@gmail.com with your address, I will get that shipped out to you from Amazon. And I guess I should, oh good, you're still here. I was going to say, I guess I should make sure you're still here. But yeah, if you could email me your address and I will get those shipped out to you. Thank you and congratulations.
I just put that email in the chat, Stephen. It's under Gemini Custom Designs. So you're not looking under cask.
And if nobody knew that, Brian, when we're on these lives now, he logs in as Gemini so that he can help me stay caught up with the chats. So if nobody knew that was Bryan, I know that he's said it a couple of times, but just in the last weeks.
That's our
But
that's our woodworking business. That's where like we've made our flasks and our the trophy that she made. The giveaway for the whiskey trivia. She laser engraves those leatherette binders. So, I mean, that's all laser work, but I mean, we build lots of stuff as
yeah,
well.
Brian's in the process of building me a coffee table and a TV stand. I've only waited 3 years for that. It took me buying a picture to get this done.
Picture. So we bought a picture that goes on the fireplace, and somehow we get a TV stand and a coffee table out of that.
To make the room complete.
And when those are done, a mantle.
Yeah. So we bought this house almost 4 years ago, not quite 4 years yet. And we have slowly but steadily renovated it. And we still have the whole second floor to do. But the first floor is almost done. It's not completely done. It kind of got holded because Bryan wanted this basement bar.
To be fair, there was nothing wrong with the house.
No.
It was built in 1986 by a school teacher and his wife. And it literally was like brand new 1986 is what was wrong with it. It was 1986.
Yeah.
The appliances were still original.
Clean.
They
Very,
look
very
brand
clean.
new. Well, other than the paint that the wife had worn out of the inside of the oven from cleaning it for 30 years. But
Mr. Richie J, I have not picked the Advent pours yet. I plan on doing that probably Halloween weekend. I know that I am going to close out those orders on October 31st, so everybody that has paid by October 31st and everybody that has placed the orders. I guess why I haven't picked them yet, I just need to know how much I'm going to need. I want to make sure one bottle is going to do it. And so until all the orders are in, I haven't went and picked them out yet. However, I can guarantee you that they are going to be good ones because I do not want to drink bad whiskey. So
life is too short
to
for
drink
bad
booze.
booze.
But I mean, I don't know how many people are on our lives, and I do not want to bore people with this. It is out on our Patreon page, but
We'll
just
go
real
back
quick.
over it.
Just real quick.
Okay, she'll go back over it right now. Thanks, Mr. Ritchie.
If you are one of our patron members, and you would like to do Advent with us in the month of December, or if you just want a whiskey sample box just to do anytime, we are building these boxes. They are pine wood boxes. I put a Christmas tree on mine just for the demo. I can engrave whatever you would like in yours, logos, whatever. You can have our logo with your name or whatever type of name on it. Inside, you're going to have 24 1-ounce bottles. I will be filling these. These will be numbered. And then there's slots down here. You'll have 24 envelopes with what's in each one.
For anybody that has not seen, there is a insert board in here that Shona has laser cut.
To fit the bottles.
24 holes for 24 bottles. And the slots were also cut for the envelopes.
So that is what Richie is talking about, if you guys were not aware. All the information and details are out on the Patreon page, and that's public to anybody to see. If you are local and can pick up your box, it will be $85. If we need to ship it to you, it'll be $100. The Venmo, everything like that, you do have to be a Patreon member, free or paid, doesn't matter, to be eligible to get one. And the Venmo code, everything's out there.
Hey, Brian from Bourbon School, thanks for joining us. Cheers, sir, and congrats on 2,000 subs. That's a huge achievement.
That is exciting. Congratulations,
That's
Brian.
something that we are like,
We're way from that.
obviously a goal, but
Yeah, we'll get there.
We were happy to hit 1,000.
We really were. I was so excited to hit 1,000. We did that huge giveaway. I can't even imagine. I think we're going to wait till we hit 2,500 to do the next one, though. But I can guarantee you, if you thought 1,000 subscriber giveaway was big, I can guarantee you once we hit 2,500, it's going to be huge.
Hey, Wilmington Piper, I think Wilmington Piper. We have a Laguna 150 watt. I think it's the Shop Smart EX, I think is the name of it. I know it's an EX. I think it's Smart Shop or Shop Smart. But it's a Laguna. We started out with a 14 watt laser diode on our Onefinity CNC machine, and then immediately people started asking for stuff that thing just wouldn't do. Mm-hmm. And so we jumped into the Laguna. We still use the 14 watt diode, but that's probably way more info than you were looking for.
So, John.
Yeah, CO2, absolutely.
Yes, we will be doing 24 days of tasting in December. So we will start December 1st. Up till the 24th, we will have 24 days of tasting. And that's the purpose of me kind of offering the boxes. If you want to watch along with us and do your sample at the same time, see what you're tasting, see if what we're tasting is the same thing.
Is that content only going to be posted on the Patreon page?
That's
what he's asking.
I'm sorry. No, that's going to be public. That's going to be out on our YouTube channel. So I'm just offering the box itself to our patrons if they want to do that.
And that will be a short video, obviously. Mm-hmm. I mean, how much talking can you do about a 1 ounce sample? But then our regular days, we'll still have our regular content.
Yep, we will. But we will be doing that.
In addition.
Yep. I'm not going to tell you that we're going to do it every single day and film every single day. We may group like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, we may do
together.
A few if we, like on a Sunday, if we have an open window, we may do for ourselves a few of them as separate shows to post.
Because as you can imagine, everybody's December is busy.
Yeah.
So.
And generally December in the wood shop for me is crazy.
And Rick is in. Yep, I knew that. And Rich EJ, yep, won a bottle on that one, didn't you? Yes, the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, you sure did.
A lot of people want a bottle for that one, Mr. Ritchie.
Oh, John said, okay, I can give one to my boss. That's cool. Yes, you can. He can follow along with us. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just something we're only offering up for the patrons, but we'll post the content out.
Mm-hmm. We absolutely will. I'm excited for it, honestly. Because to me, it's going to be like what's in the Glen Wednesday, because I am going to be filling these boxes at the first part of October, and I can guarantee you by first part of November. Sorry. So I can guarantee you by the 1st of December, I'm going to completely forget what I numbered and put in there. I mean, I'll know basically, but I won't know what I'm tasting.
Yeah, you'll know what's in the box, just not what bottle it's in.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for it.
Yeah. Should be a good time. Hopefully everybody enjoys it, and that'll be something we put in our bag of tricks for next year. But
yeah, and I may make Bryan wear a Santa hat every show.
If it's cold, I won't mind.
Either that, or I might make him dress up as an elf. One or the other.
Guys, we're just trying to add stuff to the channel that everybody enjoys, and we can continue to hopefully help build excitement around the channel. We want to be where Bryan from Bourbon School is one day.
Yeah, that's awesome achievement.
2,000. I mean, that's awesome. It's awesome. And, I say like we were just happy to hit 1,000. We've done great. We're tickled to death. We started this channel in June of 23. We had 1,000 subscribers in July of 24. So, you read about channels that do it quicker than that, but you read about channels that it takes them several years to get there.
Yeah. And you know, honestly, we did this channel and we have never forgotten this part of it is for us to come down here and have fun.
Yep.
And we do. I know that sometimes we may get a little serious, but in all honesty, it's time for us to connect and just have fun and enjoy each other's company. And I think and to meet other people, and we've met some really great people.
We have. And you guys that are here every time we're online, I mean.
Yeah, and it's just fun. I honestly enjoy it. Sometimes I wish I didn't have to work so much so that I could probably, be a little bit more involved. But I try to be as involved as I can. I know Bryan's a little bit more involved than what I am most days, but I still have a blast, and it's a nice escape from, the day-to-day grind for us.
Bryan from Bourbon School said that they're on like 1,000 per year trajectory. So I think that's a pretty good growth rate, really. I mean, it'd be great if we could put more time into it, like Shona was saying. But the flip side is, I mean, honestly, we don't want to bore people with us.
Yeah.
So
and we don't want to burn out either. We want to have fun.
Because that's not why we were doing it.
Yeah.
Like she said,
No.
It was all about having fun. So.
And I'll tell you, I have the most fun, and I know it sounds corny, but I have the most fun writing the trivia questions on the weekend and getting ready for trivia night. I know that sounds silly, but I love it.
She does.
I do. I love trivia night. So I can tell you, I hope that everybody enjoys that, because I don't want it to go away, because I truly enjoy trivia night.
Joe B., we're glad you're here, man. We're glad you found us. We appreciate all you guys for being here.
We do.
Mr. Ritchie, I appreciate the kind words from you. And Stephen Scone, thank you, sir. What's Mr. Ritchie saying?
Bryan has to hit the stores, and that's work too. But
yeah, it is. Going early is the worst part, but it's still fun. It really is. I mean, I've met great people in the bourbon line. I've met local people that I knew years ago that it's like, oh yeah, I remember you. And I was in the car business for about 15 years, and that's going back a lot of years. So I knew a lot of people in town at that point, but I've been out of the public's eye for so long that everybody's new again, which is good sometimes. But anyway, that's a piece of history on Bryan.
I've been in the same line of business for over 20 years now, so I'm kind of behind the scenes in the hospital world. Nothing too exciting.
Nothing exciting in Shauna's world, but unfortunately it's a must for a lot of people. So
Yep.
Where an automobile is, I guess you could consider it a must, but the types of automobiles aren't necessarily a must anymore.
Yes, Rick, I am very thankful for that magazine that you sent me with the research, and I know that you sent me a text with some Halloween stuff as well, which will be very helpful. I'm going to save that one probably for the last week, not the last week of October, because we're only doing the first 4 Wednesdays, but the 4th Wednesday of October, I'm going to try to come up with that, use that and come up with some Halloween trivia for the section.
Hey, Stephen, my best advice to you, and Bryan would probably give you the same advice. Just keep doing you, man. You're in a groove, and you know what you can do to have fun, and that's your goal, is to have fun. Just keep doing it, and it's going to come. It really will. I mean, the first 100, it felt like an eternity getting to the first 100, didn't it?
It did.
And then we did a giveaway at 500. We got to 100, we gave away a bottle of Weller Antique at 100 subscribers, which I know you don't really see much of, but we were excited and we wanted people to subscribe.
Yep.
And so when we hit 100, we announced at 500 subscribers we were going to give away a bottle of Stag. And a lot of people were like, "You're nuts, you're giving away Stag?" Hey, it's just a bottle. And here in Ohio, we're paying retail for it, so it's not like we were paying
Like
$300 for
yeah.
a bottle to give away. And then at 500, we said, okay, there'll be another giveaway at 1,000. And then when we got to 1,000, we gave away, I think, 7 or 8 different bottles and a bunch of merchandise that had Cask 529 on it. A sample pack from High Bank that Gandhi he won. That's what he was referring to earlier. And along the way, we've given away bottles on our live streams. And I'm not telling you need to do all that. Man, one of the bottles we gave away was a Weller Green, right? So it was like $26 I picked it up for.
And I'll never forget, we gave an option one night of Wild Turkey 101 and Weller Green, and Life from the Patio. T from Life from the Patio picked the Wild Turkey 101, and I was really shocked on that one. Both bottles cost relatively the same amount, but usually people go for the Weller over the Wild Turkey 101, so that was fun.
Yeah, and excited. And actually, I just saw that 101 on one of their live streams the other night. They got it out and mentioned us, and yeah, so that was cool. And Mr. Ritchie, you're right, man. It's awesome that we still have so many people interested in what we're talking about after we've given something away. So these are the kinds of things that we never expected to happen.
Right.
Because we just figure, who wants to sit and listen to
Watch
us
us.
talk about bourbon? And because I'm not even that good at it. Shona is.
But I'm not entertaining at all. Thanks for bearing with me.
She's getting better. Anyway, and Bryan, your channel, you got a great channel. And you put out good content.
He would
good
actually
content.
choose the Wild Turkey 101 every time. And Wild Turkey 101 is a great bottle, and it is. But I guess the whole Buffalo Trace thing, it really shocked me that someone else picked it.
And I think it shocked all of us that were here that night.
Yeah.
Not because we really wanted the Weller Green, or that we would have even, we just assumed everybody
Would want the Weller
would pounce on the Weller just because it was
Weller.
It was a Weller.
Yeah, but absolutely, I personally would probably pick the Wild Turkey 101 over the Weller Green as well.
Bryan said he's a notorious Weller hater.
Oh, now
So,
I love the Foolproof.
The Foolproof, we love
That
it.
is my favorite.
I don't mind the 107, the antique, but the Foolproof is. Now, when we first opened our first Foolproof, we were like, okay, let's put that back on the shelf. But then, like 2 or 3 weeks later, we opened it back up, and it was like completely different.
It was really good.
Yeah, and so unfortunately, that's one that's hard to get.
Yeah.
At least for us. Maybe it's not in New York. I don't know.
Yeah, for us, it is hard to get. Well, at MSRP, it's hard to get. So that's really the Weller that I like the best.
So Mr. Ritchie says Weller every time for him.
Thanks for all the trophies, Rick.
Yes, absolutely, Rick. Thank you.
Rick has found out that I like trophies since I'm giving away a trophy.
Steven said he likes the foolproof
Foolproof.
store picks. Yeah. So the first foolproof we had was just a regular foolproof. The foolproof backup we have that we have not opened
It's
yet
an OHLQ
was
pick.
an OHLQ pick, which if you've watched us before, there are no store picks in Ohio. They're OHLQ picks. So.
Yep. And we have not opened that bottle yet. And Mr. Mom, thank you. Love watching couples dynamic, the banter and interaction. Bryan's getting really better at not getting like aggravated with everything I say.
She used to get aggravated with me because I would get aggravated with her, and then I would do a live with Mike and Mark. But she didn't understand that guys are just, it's just that way.
He informed me that it's okay if guys pick on one another.
Right.
But if I pick on him, it's different.
It's personal then.
And even though Mike or Mark can say the same exact thing to them, and sometimes a even meaner mode, like tone, it's okay. I can say it jokingly with a smile, the same exact thing, and it's not okay. I have learned that from my husband.
Yeah, I don't know. I've tried really hard. I really have. I've tried really hard to look past it. So, and she tells me I'm doing better. That grin says it all.
So Joe B says the 107 is the bomb. The 107 is good as well.
Yes.
To me, though, the Weller Foolproof is definitely my favorite.
And Brian, I remember when I think when I first came into your channel, or one of the first couple times, and you asked what my name was. I remember that you were impressed it was spelled with a Y because yours was a Y. And he's not in here tonight, but a lot of times he stops in. Cheech is also a Y, so that's pretty cool. I didn't think anybody else knew how to spell a name right.
My brother, his name is also Bryan, and it is spelled with a Y.
Yeah, it's a Y.
However, we have a gentleman that comes for whiskey club night, and his is spelled with an I, and so he teases Bryan that his name is spelled wrong.
He said it's Brian spelt right. So, it's one of those things. It's been a thing ever since I was a kid, Brian. How about you? I mean, it was always that way growing up. And you almost just got tired of correcting people and went with whatever. And there's times today that I'm like, whatever, just as long as you know it's Brian.
I can tell both you, Bryans, that I do not feel bad for you at all. Because of someone whose name is Shona, spelled Shona, that people say it should be spelled Shawana or Shauna or
Everything but
yeah.
Shona.
You grow up being called Shona
I was
or
going to say.
Shonda with there's no D in it, but you get called everything but Shona.
Yeah.
At least people know to call you guys Bryan.
Shona is the most popular name I hear you called is Shona.
And I'm just tone deaf to it anymore. I just answer to whatever. It doesn't even
And you do.
it doesn't
You just
even
get that
faze
way.
me.
You just get that way because it's not that big a deal.
It's not.
There's a whole lot bigger problems in the world than
No. So my maiden name was Vineyard, and I used to always get called Shona Vineyard. And so I always blew my mind that, everybody knew about wine and vineyards and all that stuff. And my last name was spelled just like, the California vineyards. Why can you not say Vineyard right? I get that you're not saying my first name right, but why are you calling me Vineyard?
Mr. Mom, I've always told Shauna, just don't call me late for dinner. And Bourbon Hunter Lee, thank you. Those things are really cool. We started doing those. The coasters, I think, were the first thing. And then we had flasks, but they were metal. And then we found the leatherette flasks. And that was like stepping it up a notch when we found those. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I actually found something on the page the other night. I'm just going to throw this out there if anybody'd be interested. The next time I order, and I'm not talking anytime in the next week or so because I don't have a big enough order yet. But I seen these, I don't want to speak wrong. They're like knives, those.
Just like a pen knife.
But they have two different. They're like a knife that I could engrave, or they are those. It's not a utility knife. It's like those camping knives that like have every like little thing on them. Maybe even
like
a corkscrew. A Swiss Army knife. Thank you. I was trying to think what it was called.
Hey Brian, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate you checking in with us.
Yes, thank you. Any interest in something like that as a giveaway at any time? I'm trying to come up with different things all the time, so that we're not always giving the same stuff away.
And you know what? You guys have been great because you think you're coming to a bourbon page, you're going to get bourbon as a giveaway. But we like there's a lot of stuff out there that pertains. Now, she's not necessarily talking about something that pertains, but would it be something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, I'm just trying to come up with different ideas for, various giveaways.
Candy said
ideas?
Absolutely.
Oh, cool. Great. So, yeah.
Hey, Candy, if it's free, it's for me.
I just don't like giving away the same exact thing every time. And so I'm searching because I just want everybody to, if they win, to have something different.
And we like to give stuff away often, so obviously we can't give bourbon away
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I wish we could.
as often as
but-
we'd like to give stuff
But
away.
we give away stuff like at least a couple times a week, so we have to.
Rick, are you talking about this one? If we rub this one, that's a. Though if you can really tell, I know it's been sitting back there ever since the show started down here, but that's a really cool.
Yeah.
It's diamond shaped.
So my really good friend who recently passed away gave that to Bryan for Christmas last year.
Last year, yep.
And she was so excited to bring it, and
She was already sick.
yeah,
And we knew it.
and she was so excited to bring it. We were having the Christmas party down here. We just had the bar ready to have the Christmas party for our group
Like the night before the party.
that
We're
day
ready.
probably, and she already washed it out, everything for him, and there was nothing but Bryan putting his favorite or not. She's like, your favorite, whatever bottle you want to put in there, you have to fill it, because she wanted it presented that night.
Go ahead.
And so, anyways, it has Blanton's in it because we had several bottles of Blanton's, and we left that Blanton's in there until, unfortunately, she passed away. Then all of us had all of our core friends
Then we all had a pour out
pour
of it.
out of it.
And Sean and I have had a couple pours since, but it's ironically enough, we're not huge Blanton's fans. That's the best Blanton's we've ever had.
It truly is. Truly is.
Rick, that's the bottle Rick was talking about.
Oh, that's my tequila.
Yeah, so Shauna, Rick, is a big tequila. I like tequila, but Shauna is a big tequila drinker. And so all three of these bottles are tequilas.
And I have more tequilas. They're just down in the
These
the
are
cupboards.
just these
These are my pretty bottles.
These are the pretty tequilas, the pretty tequilas.
Yeah. So
So no, you cannot get a genie out of any of them if you rub them.
no. Joby, we really do not have a store. However, Bryan does have a Facebook page, Jim and I Custom Designs on Facebook, that he posts stuff sporadically on there. But you can go back, scroll through there. But really, if there's stuff that you want, just reach out and we'll be happy.
Yeah, because I mean, generally anything that can be. We do tumblers, we do glasses, we do flasks, we do trophies now. Leatherette stuff. We do
Tasting boards.
can koozies, cutting boards. We'll laser engrave cutting boards,
Charcuterie boards.
cheese slicers. I make cheese slicers, and we laser engrave those. Anything really.
Yeah.
So.
And every now and then Bryan will build custom cabinets. I try to get him not to take big jobs like that anymore, only because it takes up the bulk of our time.
It doesn't behoove. I'm not big enough. It doesn't behoove me to hire anybody. And really, if I do anything more than what I'm already doing, I'm going to have to hire somebody. And am I perfect? No. Do I try to be a perfectionist? Yes. So I fear that if I did hire somebody, I would spend a lot of time redoing things.
Yeah. And currently, he doesn't even have the time to finish my projects. That's why it's taken almost 4 years to get a coffee table and a TV stand. So therefore, I really don't want him building the cabinets so that I can get some of those bigger things that I want done.
Thanks to whoever brought that up.
We don't fight about it. I've learned, because I go out in the shop and I build this stuff too. So we don't argue about that kind of stuff at all because we're both busy. So when we get to our stuff, we get to it.
Gandhi, you're right. There is a devil. There is a devil if you drink enough of it. And Rick, I don't know, man. I don't think I'm getting a genie if I drink the whole bottle. I think I'm getting a devil if I drink the whole bottle. But definitely, all three of those bottles are very good. The white tall bottle with the chrome top, we can get that locally here in Ohio.
The other ones.
The other ones came
From Arizona.
From visits out in Arizona.
Yeah.
What better place to get some real tequila than right across the border, I guess.
Yep. Yep.
They just don't distribute all the really good stuff into Ohio.
Right. And I'm not really savvy on
You're
tequilas.
right, Stephen.
I mean, I love tequila. I've not really found a tequila that I would not drink. Our friend Bob, who lives in North Carolina, and he has a lot of tequila knowledge. He and I love to drink tequila together. And unfortunately, we were supposed to be down there with them this weekend, but things came up, and so hopefully we will be seeing them soon, though, so that we can, because we wanted to shoot a live with them down there.
Yeah, and we were going to, but they got the COVID bug. Mr. Mom said he went to school. I don't know if you saw that. He went to school with a vineyard in Texas.
So I do know that my family, we do have relatives in Texas. I do not know all their names, but I can guarantee you that my mother does, because she is big on all the family history. But I do know when I did have Facebook, I haven't been on Facebook for several years. I had probably 3 or 4 vineyards that were from Texas as friends on Facebook that were relatives down the line.
Chill Will, you're not a big enough tequila fan. You know, they say that tequila is the next really big thing, and that I think if you would consider starting a channel, I think they say to go that route, because there's not a lot of info out there on tequila, and it would probably take off. Mm-hmm. The problem is, everybody that has bourbon pages has so much money invested in bourbon, they're not going to switch to tequila to make content, because it's a huge undertaking. I mean,
it is, and honestly, I mean, Brian's not a huge tequila fan. I am, but I can't afford to buy tequila and bourbon for both of us to have shows.
No, definitely not. Definitely
Just
not.
one.
I think that's maybe a tequila link that Rick posted.
Hey, Rick, is that a tequila link? I don't want to click on it right now,
Yeah,
but is
I
that
see
something?
Mezcal, I figure that's a tequila link.
You know, another spirit that I truly enjoy is gin. How many gin drinkers do we have out there? Because I love gin. Brian's not a huge gin fan. However, we did a gin show
Early. We were just getting started.
And I think I may have gotten Brian to actually like some gins.
We had some good gins when we did the show.
But I love gins. I mean, I can drink them straight. I can drink gin and tonics. I truly love them. So Cabo Wabo is all you need. Hey, I'm good with that too. I'm good with the 1800 tequila. I'm good with Jose Cuervo. I am good with pretty much any Patron. So the Botanist gin is really good. I really like the Gray Whale. It has like a little bit of a saltiness to it that I love. This one, the High Cleric Castle, I enjoyed that one.
And then there was an Amsterdam.
The new Amsterdam, okay, it's only like $14.99 a bottle.
Incredible, though.
It is really good, and it makes really good gin and tonics.
And then
Hendrick's.
I hear this a lot, is Hendrick's.
It's a good one.
And so, yeah, I was never a gin guy, because my knowledge of gin was Tanqueray dry gin that was disgusting in my eyes. But man, some of this stuff here is really good.
Yeah, I truly enjoy gin. And Old Fashions is my whiskey cocktail go-to. But when I'm at conferences and stuff, normally when you go to those conference, like after-hour things, they don't have whiskey. You can either have a cheap red wine, a cheap white wine, or a handful of cocktails, which is usually like a cranberry and vodka. But normally I can get a gin and tonic.
And it's going to be well stuff.
Yeah.
If you are getting a cocktail, it's going to be bottom shelf.
But if I can get a gin and tonic, I'm good.
Yeah. And that's why my drink of choice for years was Captain and Coke, because who doesn't have Captain and who doesn't? Well, I shouldn't say who doesn't have Coke, because people try to tell you Pepsi's the same thing, and it's not. But
So, I'm sorry, trying to read them. Gandy Road Monkey 47, best gin I've ever had. I have never had Monkey 47.
I've never heard of that one.
So I'm going to have to find that one. And Mr. Mom, I like Jim and Fresca. Oh, Fresca, that and tequila. Oh, I have never tried that combination, but I'm going to try that. I think gin and Long Island.
Getting a lot of gin input here.
Mr. Richie J, I am not allowed to have Long Island iced teas.
She is not. Because
So-
the devil we were talking about earlier?
I love Long Island iced teas, but I have not probably had one. It's probably been 12 years.
I bet it's been longer than that.
Maybe longer.
I think we were dating.
It's been a long time since I've had a Long Island iced tea. But sometimes they just go down way too easy. And so there are certain things that I will not drink anymore.
Some things are hard to have in moderation, as you guys probably all know. There's something that you know you should drink moderately and you just can't.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a bad 3 days. Anyways, so John said gray whale is good. Yes, it is. Tanqueray for sure. John, I'm not going to lie to you. I've never had Tanqueray because I've heard Bryan say how horrible it is. But I am going to try it because I know our friend Barb loves Tanqueray, so I know she'll share it with me sometime.
But to be fair, Barb likes everything.
Amsterdam is good for the money, the value. It absolutely is. I could not believe it was only $14.99 and how good it was.
Journeyman's, we're going to have to look for that one.
Yep. And Steven's saying we have the first two and Hendrix keep them in the freezer. I never thought about that. Normally, I'm mixing them with ice and like tonic water or something.
To be fair, since we did the gin show, we've used very little of this gin. Since
I've had some.
I know we've had a lot of that.
Yeah. So yeah, Mr. Richie J, Long Island's your favorite. I get it. I know exactly why it's your favorite.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
It's super good, and I like it. And it doesn't affect me the same way it affects Shauna. So I don't drink it because I know Shauna can't drink it.
Yeah. The problem with Long Island iced teas are they are too good.
Shauna's not a very big person, and she thinks she's a really large person when she drinks some Long Island iced tea. Really large.
Hey, Charles. Green River Foolproof for my fresh crack on Friday. That is awesome.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That is good.
Hey, Charles, welcome, sir.
Hey, welcome. We've been talking about all kinds of stuff. It's just
we
been
even talked about
impromptu.
you, Charles.
Yeah, my rye guy.
Yeah, we had some bottles out here earlier. We said, hey, thanks to Charles, we got this.
Shoot. Would be rum. Yeah, I like rum. I'm not going to turn my nose up at rum. Bryan, as he said, I know Captain Morgan used to be his
Yeah,
all-time.
I've got into, have you ever had the bamboo rum? Who was that? Was that John?
Yeah, John. And then there is this
the
really
other one?
good one that Beth had brought us back from North Carolina.
Oh, like dark something.
Where is that one?
I think it's-
Right here.
End of Days.
End of Days
of
rum
Days.
from North Carolina. Really good. Really good rum.
That's a good pour, really. And in fact, that's the only way I've had it, is just as a pour. We had some friends turn us on to some Ron Zacapa rum, and he actually gave me a recipe to make a daiquiri with it, just a shaken daiquiri, and that was really good. But I haven't had that straight up.
Yeah. Rex is trying to get in the cabinet.
Trying to get in the liquor cabinet and see what's in there.
What's in there, Mom?
Bacardi. Bacardi 8 I have not had Bacardi 8 finished. Quick story about rum. I don't want to bore anybody, but this is kind of funny. When I was in the Navy, I was in a helicopter squadron. I was a jet engine mechanic in a helicopter squadron. And we did anti-submarine warfare. And we would go to an island in the Bahamas to practice. It was called AUTEC, A-U-T-E-C. People used to say AUTEC was to the Navy what Area 51 is to the Air Force. Anyway, on base, there was a liquor store. Of course, you could buy liquor for next to nothing. So we would buy half-gallon jugs of Bacardi, regular Bacardi, of course, because, you know, we didn't know any better. And you can only bring so much of it back. And of course, coming from the Bahamas, you had to go through customs in Miami. Well, in the tail of the aircraft, where it was called the hellhole, and there was all avionics and stuff up in there, and it was top secret. And so everybody couldn't just go up in there. So we would actually hide our liquor wrapped in stuff up in the hellhole. Bottles. The pilots would get up in there and do their pre-flight, and they'd come out big smiles on their faces because they knew what we were doing. But when we went through Miami, it never got found because they couldn't go in there. So anyway, we would bring all this rum back from the Bahamas, and when we got back to the base in Jacksonville, we would throw huge parties. Anyway, just took me back when you said Bacardi.
All right, guys. I feel like we have kept you long enough.
Yeah, thanks you guys for sticking in there with us. Just think if we could bring them on screen.
We're going to get there this
Think
weekend.
how much fun we would have.
We're going to get there this weekend, guys. I promise you. Thank you. This was just really impromptu tonight. So thank you guys all for hopping on and joining.
We had no idea that we would have as many guys jump on as we did, and we appreciate all of you.
Yes.
Like I said earlier when I thought we were wrapping it up, thanks for the super chats. We really appreciated that, and we're
Very
not
nice of you
looking
guys.
for that whatsoever.
Yes, super nice.
And I think that's all we've got. Hopefully
is.
we've shared some good information. We've enjoyed chatting with you guys. And I think until next time, we just want to say be safe, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.